Yeah.
You know, I've said so many times, I said no children until I'm ready, because it's my body that's going to change. It's me who's going to be at home,
and you have to be ready.
You have to be ready. You have to be, and I'm so honest about those things. And I know it sounds super selfish to go, I really like my body right now, and I'd like it to stay that way for now, please, if you don't mind.
But that's the thing. Why are we apologizing? Selfish for who?
Absolutely. And I've built this thing from the ground up alone. So if you're coming in to support and to help and to encourage, not to take away. And vice versa. I also want to be a wife that supports and encourages, but doesn't take away or doesn't try to destroy what he's trying to build.
My friends, and I don't have a lot of them, have seen me through the best and the worst parts of me. And they're the people that have stayed.
I love doing very girly things. I love getting my nails done, and my lashes done, and my brows done. Things that make me look good, and then I start feeling good because I look good. And there were 2 things that I prayed for when I was 7. Please believe me when I say this.
Wow.
I really want.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm just like, wow, okay.
In 2015, I officially started in the music industry. I performed with the ABBA tribute show, and then went on to performing in the Whitney Houston tribute show. Traveled all over Europe. First time leaving South Africa without my parents.
Welcome to Klink Africa, a holistic space that intertwines work, lifestyle, wellness, and beauty. My name is Siape Mafuyane, and I'm with my friend and co-host, Naskarabo Tailani Nondumo. Hey. How are you doing, Kari? Fantastic. Great to be back. And today we have someone who truly embodies creativity and resilience in the South African entertainment industry. She is a singer, a songwriter, a voiceover artist, an all-round creative, and her name is Zena Rose. Zena, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. It's so wonderful to have you.
It's good to be here.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Zena, before we delve into all of the things that are creative about you, please just introduce yourself to an audience in your own words.
Righty. Hello everybody watching. My name is Zena Rose Hitbush. I am a wife, a singer, songwriter, actress, presenter, all-round creative. Wow. So yeah, that's who I am.
Fabulous. And how does Zena unwind? What do you do to take care of Zena?
Sure, I think as a woman, for me, the most important part about taking care of myself is listening to my heart. And I really pay attention to what it is that I'm feeling when I'm feeling it. So when I am tired or overwhelmed, you have to have a conversation with yourself to go, okay, cool, this is how you're feeling. How can we help you feel better? So I love doing very girly things. I love getting my nails done and my lashes done and my brows done. Things that make me look good, and then I start feeling good because I look good, you know? I love spending time alone, especially with my husband. If we don't go out, you know, with friends or family, we're just at home, not doing anything, not moving too much, because life can be really busy. But I really find love in just not doing anything, you know, and letting life happen. I think we're so quick to plan things and put things in place to ensure that stuff is going on, that we don't actually take the moment to go, okay, we have a home with lights, with water, running water. You know, I have a comfortable couch. There's a TV we can watch movies in. There's food in the fridge. Okay, like we're good. We're good. We don't need to be doing anything else. This is good enough.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. I love that you're present. Hey,
And tell us about then Zena the musician.
Yeah.
So you've just released a single, We Know, which is quite vibey. This lady and I need to
take us out, invite us out.
Oh man.
Yeah, so take us on your journey, you know, your creative journey, your music, who you're targeting, you know, and how it's been going.
Absolutely. So my journey started when I was 7. And it was Christmas Day, and my parents, we got to choose our Christmas gifts. Obviously, we knew what they were. So when we unwrapped it, we were like, great, this is awesome. So I'd opted to get a Barbie microphone that came with a stand and a guitar. Because I loved music already. Like I was already listening to different types of music. And so that's when it began. So I think that was the year my sister was born. And so my gran was home, God rest her soul. Yes. And I put on a show for her. And me and my brother were just singing a whole bunch of songs. I remember singing Brenda Fassie and just, it was incredible. And I think in that moment, I felt like, this would be so nice to do as a job. Just like everyday writing and performing music, I would love to do this. And so I made that decision so young, not knowing what the trials and tribulations could be, what sort of things I would experience, but I just wanted to feel that particular thing that I felt about myself and what I could do. And so that's where the journey began. And so in school, I would do, drama and things like that, get involved in shows, got a bit of, a few lead roles and stuff. And then when I was about to go into grade 10, there was a school called Christian School of the Arts. And so what it was is you basically it's a vocational study. So in between doing your actual studies, you go to ballet class, you go to singing class, and you go to dance class and stuff like that. And that when I saw that, and absolutely love my dad. When I saw that, my dad was like, I know this is something that you'd like to do. So we took a huge risk because obviously it's not your normal schooling system. Yeah. And so we took a huge risk and my mom was like, no, she can't do it. Yeah. My dad was like, you have to let her do it. So we went to the school and stuff. And I think that's where things started to begin because I started seeing what it took or what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be. And the only word I can give you is hard work. Wow. When you stare at something in the face that you want and you can see that this could possibly be the most difficult thing you'll ever do in your life, but know that you're doing it not because you're trying to make other people feel better, but because in your heart it feels right. That's when God starts to move and things start happening. Because in 2015, I officially started in the music industry. I performed with the ABBA tribute show and then went on to performing in the Whitney Houston tribute show, traveled all over Europe. First time leaving South Africa without my parents. So I'm traveling all over Europe as a backing vocalist, an exceptional experience to learn about my voice, my agility, my ability to be able to perform and be in a completely different country and still hold my own and still be who I am. And so that was in 2015, 2016. And then I came back and I wanted to make a name for myself now. So I started releasing my own music and started writing my own music. And music is such a huge investment. You have to put a lot of money in before you get money out.
Hoping to get money
out. The chances of you getting money out are very slim. But when it does happen, it's beautiful because you get to see the work that you put together and see that come to fruition. But not only that, but see people enjoy your words and find comfort in what you have to say to them. Because for me, music is healing. For me, music is I get to take my sensitivity and my life and the things that I deal with, put them into my own words, and then put a beautiful harmony and music behind it. And that, connects me to different people and to different spaces. And so getting to the point where I got signed by a label in 2021 was great. Had a few experiences and stuff. And then unfortunately, that relationship ended middle of last year. Took me on a very, very difficult path because I was starting to question, God, is this still your plan for me? Or do I need to change? Or does something need to be different? And I think as a creative, what I've learned now is that you never stop being creative. You find different ways to be creative. And right now I work for a church as their creative and communications coordinator. Awesome. So I'm doing things like websites, social media, communication on WhatsApp, sending out, details on the church, doing graphic design, things that I never thought that I would do in my life, video editing. And so I'm finding different avenues to be creative. And I think it's so important for us to not be hard on ourselves because a dream didn't happen the way that we wanted to, but also trusting in that every single element of your journey leads you to eventually where you're supposed to be. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's my story.
Such sage words for somebody so young.
Like, we learn every day.
Absolutely, it's so incredible. I mean, I love everything you're saying. So I am a creative.
Lovely.
I don't know if I am or I was. I don't really know.
You still
tell the people and show the people.
Listening to your story, I can so identify. So I did speech and drama and music throughout my life. Started at the age of 7. The only difference in our path, and this is what I want to get into, is when I got to the end of high school, my mother said, not ever. It is not happening. You are going to go and do something that can put food on the table. Yeah. And, I don't blame her. And it's okay. But I want to talk about and lean into that, into understanding that it's not just a love for music, right? It's about building a career.
Of course.
So for our audiences who are themselves, aspiring creatives, or who have children that are creative, how do you bring together those two worlds? The world of a career versus the world of enjoying the craft of creating. Absolutely.
Your passion.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me was how can I obviously make this a lifestyle that pays me, And it's incredible because if you really look into the industry, there's so many things that are involved. So as a musician, you'll have your producer, someone who makes your beats, for example. You'll have session musicians, people who come in and play, a certain progression line or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you'll then have your manager who then books your gigs and books your shoots or whatever the case may be. You have video editors, you have directors. So there's so many different roles within the creative industry. And my biggest thing that I've learned is that you have to really trust your craft, number one, and hone in on that skill that you've built. But not only that, how can you, and please don't take this in the wrong way, but how can you convince people that what you're doing is worth money?
Yeah, how can you monetize your craft?
Absolutely. 110%.
No, we get that.
110%. Because at the end of the day, you do need food on the table. And the economy that we're living in right now is absolutely horrible.
And the birds are singing for you.
Exactly. Because they know how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And so you have to start taking every single talent that you have and going, okay, cool, where can I fit in this space? So when I started singing, it was just, okay, I'm just gonna sing, right? Okay, cool, singing's okay. And then I was like, maybe I should try acting. Okay, try acting. And then dance. Okay, cool, we need to be, well-versed in what we're doing. And then in 2018, I decided to audition for the show called Born to Perform. And I didn't want to sing. For some odd reason, I was just like, I don't want to sing, I want to try something different. So let me see if I can host the show. So I wrote my own, intro and stuff like that. And then, I went and auditioned and I got the part.
Oh, fantastic.
And that show is coming back again this year, and I'm going to be performing in September, so I'm really looking forward to it. Yes.
Performing this time, not MCing.
No, MCing. I'm hosting the show. Yes. So I found different ways to use my abilities to make money. So from presenting, then came voiceover artist. And for some odd reason, for someone who actually, I don't really like my voice, my speaking voice, people will be like, please come and do a voiceover. And then each and every single client is hearing from another client, and then I'm getting booked for this and getting booked for that. I've done Cadbury, I've done Nando's, I've done Dream Drive, I've worked with so many different clients. And because of that, it then just begins to grow. The more you trust your craft and what you're doing, the better then people are like, she's confident in what she's doing, and look at what she's doing. She's worked with these people and these people. So ultimately, it then paves your way forward. And then there's a part, there's two organizations we have in the music industry. We have SAMRO, which is the rights organization. And then you have SAMPRA, which is the performance organization. So because my music was playing on radio, was, being streamed and being played in like malls and like checkers and stuff like that, that's where my money then pays me back. Because once a year, you then get paid based on how often your music plays on these specific. Exactly. And that's why I think it's important to be a writer as well. Because if people are writing music for you, that part is gone. So you don't get money from that. You only get the performance part. But if you're writing and performing, it then comes together. So I think it's very difficult. And I did have a hard conversation with my parents. My mom and I went back and forth for years.
Moms!
Listen, she wanted me to be an accountant. I was really good at accounting, but I just said to her, I'm so sorry. I'm not willing to put my life aside to do something that I think might put food on the table. If I think something might put food on the table, I believe that this thing that I'm going to do, that God has given me, is going to put food on the table. And lo and behold, by the grace of God, it has. And so I'm still learning, in doing all these different things. I'm still learning and taking certain steps. And even with the new song, it was another investment. And now that I'm married, we have to have a conversation. Okay, I'm taking this amount of money and I'm putting it in here in hopes that it'll then reap later, So it's not an instant gratification thing, although we live in a world where it needs to be. My journey hasn't been. It's now 10 years in this industry, and I still think I'm up and coming. But to know that for the last 10 years, somehow, somewhere, I've made money from singing, dancing, acting, being a voiceover artist, it speaks to the choice that I made. And even now, I had a conversation with my mom the other day, and she was like, please don't give up, because I was telling her I'm exhausted.
Wow. Now she's a
But do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always say, well, I was actually talking to my husband about it this morning, and I said to him, fake it till you make it, literally. Pretend as if this thing that you've got is going to work. And when it does,
you have
exactly. And you'll see how people who didn't believe in you in the beginning or weren't sure, you start seeing them turn around and go, oh my gosh, why don't you do this? Please don't stop doing this. This is incredible. And so it really starts with yourself.
But more than anything, how does upbringing come into play? Because I'm sensing a lot of discipline, a lot of intention, and entrepreneurship. You know, you're taking this as your business. You know, which is something not so common. With artists, right? Because people tend to be very extreme in their choices. So, do you think it's an upbringing issue? Is it you? What spurred that on?
I will definitely give the props to my parents, because they were very strict with us, and I think not because they didn't want us to live life, but because they were of the belief that if you want to live a life that is full and that is real and that speaks to who you are, you have to be disciplined in that. But also remember where you come from, because you're an extension of the particular people that are in your circle, and especially family. So I think even being in the music industry, and, you know, when we do photo shoots and we're trying to express ourselves, you know, especially as a woman and stuff like that, I always send my dad my single covers before I choose them, and I go, hey, how do you feel about this? And he goes, I like this one, or I like that one. Or there was a music video that I did a couple of years back, and it was with a boy, and, you know, you're obviously showcasing a love story and stuff like that. I played it for my dad first, and I said, hey, what do you think of that? And he said, I love this. This is absolutely amazing. Played it for my mom. Oh, wow, who's this boy? What's happening here? But this is great. So I brought them in on the journey with me, and I went, okay, I know you might not understand what I'm doing, but here, let me show you. Let me show you what I'm doing.
And get your blessings also.
110%. And I really believe in that, you know, that verse in the Bible that says, you know, honor your mother and father, because blessings do come from that. And I'm very huge on that. Also because of what they've instilled in me. You know, my parents are very hardworking people, and so hard work is the first thing that's on my mind. If I want to get something, I know I need to work extra hard. And because I'm a Black woman, I have to work 10 times harder than anyone else in the room. So I can't just walk into an audition and hope and pray. I need to do the necessary things to get to that, the necessary prep. If I'm releasing a song, I have to ensure that I'm intentional about the photos that I'm choosing. What is the story behind the song? Why am I releasing it now? And what was it written about? And give a story. And so it's important to walk that journey with people, so they see that you're not just here to kind of be famous and then leave. I always say to people, I don't want to be famous. Like an accountant, like anyone who goes to the office, I just want my career to be singing. That's what I want to do.
And be lasting.
Exactly, and be lasting. I don't want this thing to be I had a 5-year run and then gone. I want to be able to leave a legacy for my kids, to be able to go, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Just focus on what it is that you want, and everything else will follow. So I think it is a difficult conversation to have with parents, and I really hoping that in my journey, I can encourage young people who want to be creatives and trust that, you know, having a conversation with your parents and sitting them down and going, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. It puts them at ease, because then they can understand, okay, cool, they'll be fine. You know what I mean? In opposed to going, I'm going to completely rebel. I'm going to go in my own way and figure it out. Walk with them. Go, okay, Mom, you might not agree with what I want to do, but I don't want to be an accountant. And I need you to understand that, because this is what I want to do. How are you going to make money from it? I'm figuring that out. Please let me figure that out, because we need to learn to do things on our own. And I think independence comes with that. You know, because I'm the oldest sibling as well, I had to learn to do things very quickly. And so I feel like in that journey as well, I learned, okay, cool. How do you put food in your tummy? How do you make money? I used to do gigs for 1,000 Rand here, 2,000 Rand here. And then I'm starting to get paid for voiceovers for 25,000 Rand. So you see what I'm saying? It's a growth thing, and it's not an instant gratification. Instant gratification, it doesn't last. And I keep telling myself that every single day, because obviously you see artists who one day they're not here, next day everybody knows who they are. You know, and it's difficult. I won't lie, I really struggle with that. But the constant thing that always reminds me is that I'm on a narrower path. And so that means that I have to be very intentional about what I say, how I say it, what I sing, how I sing it. And that's just when you're holding something really sacred, you need to look after it.
Oh, I love that. I love that it's not just the artistry, but the responsibility in the artistry.
Absolutely.
You know, because we see so many times where, unfortunately, in particular in the entertainment space, where you know, the stories of victimhood. I was just an artist and then this happened to me. So I love the fact that you've taken control of it as a career, first and foremost, that you respect your artistry and that you own it. And I think that's what makes the perennial difference. So, I mean, your bling is blinging in my face every time you speak. So let's congratulate you for your recent marriage. How do you then balance the artistry, the marriage, the family, the ambition, the responsibilities of church and home, and everything that comes with it? What does that look like for you?
That's a really good question. I think I was very intentional about what I wanted out of my life. And there were two things that I prayed for when I was 7. Please believe me when I say this. I prayed for my music career, and I prayed that the partner that I would have would understand the career that I'm in and support me regardless of that. But not only that, having a partner. So I only prayed to God for 2 things.
Wow.
I really would. At 7.
You know what I mean?
At 7.
I mean, I'm just like, wow, okay.
Yeah. So I asked.
That's exactly what I thought.
So I asked God for a music career and for a really, really good husband who will love me unconditionally, but also love what I love, which is my career. And so that was the first thing, is making that decision. And I never settled when it was time to date. And I never brought any man into my career until I was ready to share that with him, because this is a sacred part of my life. And I've built this thing from the ground up alone. So if you're coming in to support and to help and to encourage, not to take away. And vice versa. I also want to be a wife that supports and encourages, but doesn't take away or doesn't try to destroy what he's trying to build. And so putting that together, you have to be very intentional about the person that you want to marry, because it's so easy for a partner to then quickly go, do you think this is going to work? Are you sure this is going to work? I don't think you should do this. But in your heart, you want to do it.
So instead of you.
You know what I mean? And without you noticing, you're thinking, but he has a better understanding of what's going on. So let me lean into that. And then you lose yourself. And so my biggest thing with getting married was, I don't want to lose who I am and what I've built. In that, I also want to share what I've built with my person and build something together. That we can both love and enjoy and be a part of. And it's really been difficult because our lifestyle right now is work to get the things that we want to get. And so you have to sacrifice. There's a level of sacrifice, of grace, of love, of compassion. I've been having conversations with God recently, and I've really been noticing that marriage really mirrors what your relationship with God is. And so communication for me has been very, very difficult because I am an older sibling, and usually I just keep quiet if there is something going on, and I don't say how I feel.
You're the peacekeeper.
I'm the peacekeeper. I don't like fighting. And so I've needed to learn to communicate and go, I don't like that, and this doesn't work for me. And it's difficult, but you have to choose the person who's going, regardless of what happens here, this must be okay. And so even if the family is going crazy and this at home must be okay, because if you're not okay at home, it'll start filtering outside. And so how have I managed that? By the grace of God, number one. And number two, having an exceptional partner who understands what it is that I really want out of my own life. But not only that, we then share that together in our journey together. And also just reminding myself that it's no longer about just me anymore. You know, I have this incredible husband, and we're building this incredible life, and there'll be kids one day. And so it's not only just about me, but not also taking away from the fact that I am an individual. And I am a woman, and there's things that I want for myself, and you have to be selfish. You know, I've said so many times, I said, no children until I'm ready, because it's my body that's going to change. It's me who's going to be at home,
and you have to be ready.
You have to be, and I'm so honest about those things. And I know it sounds super selfish to go, I really like my body right now, and I'd like it to stay that way for now, please. If you don't mind,
but that's the thing. Why are we apologizing? Selfish for who?
Absolutely. So
because you need to be present in that moment.
Exactly. And so I always say to my husband, I say to him, you go and do what it is that you love to do, whether it's to play soccer, paddle, whatever it is, go and do it. Because the only way you can be here fully is if your cup is full. And the same way I can fully be here is if my cup is full, but I can't rely on you to fill my cup. I need to do things.
I need to cling to that cup. Sorry.
We so clink here.
Yes.
Right?
Clink.
Clink. He can only be present when his cup is full.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can't pour from an empty cup.
And I can't expect him to fill my cup, but I'm not filling his cup in any way. But we need to find our own things that we're doing in our own time that are filling us. Then you can arrive in your marriage full.
That's true.
And not half empty and tired and drained.
And also expect the other one
to then arrive 100% now. Do you know what I mean? So it's a lot of talking, just going back and forth. We always check in with each other. We always go, okay, where are you at? So we take walks on a Monday, and we walk around.
Monday?
I don't know, because Mondays are my day off because I work on a Sunday.
Okay.
And so we'll take a walk on a Monday. And it's the beginning of the week and you kind of want to be fresh. So we'll take walks and we'll literally check in on each other. Where are you at? How are you feeling? What are your plans? What are you hoping for? And then we try and then meet in the middle. Okay, so if I'm going to do this, how can we make it work with this? And you know, so it's trust, but also marrying your best friend. You have to marry your friend because friendship is what really solidifies when everything else is chaotic. Because things can really be chaotic, and what's really held us together is our friendship. And just that respect of going, as my friend, I wouldn't let you go and jump off a cliff. As my friend, I want you to go. I care about you. I want you to go and look good. Go to the gym. You know, as my friend, go and see your other friends. Go and fill your cup in other ways because I can't. My husband can't be absolutely everything
to you.
God is everything. And he is a vessel that God has used to impact my life. And so I need to remember that my friends are going to be the people who will support me in certain ways that maybe my husband can't. I can't expect him to do those things and understand that. And so I'm very lucky in a sense that I get to be Zena the artist, but then at home I get to be wifey, I get to be cuddled, I get to be loved. And so I'm living in that. I'm an independent woman outside, and you can see that I'm strong and I'm powerful, but I'm also led by a really encouraging man. And so I think for us as women, we have to be so strict about the people that we spend our lives with, because they can either make or break.
Absolutely, all the time.
You know, but also I feel like you were intentional, right, with the kind of life you want, the kind of partner you want. So it's not necessarily luck, but it's intention. It's getting what you were clear about what it is that you wanted.
Absolutely.
But what about friendships? How do you find it challenging now that you're older with intention? You know,
being married.
Or do you have friends that are supportive?
You know, the same way you're intentional about your partners, the same way you need to be intentional with your friendships. I love my friends. And so because of that love that I have for them, there'll be times when I'm at the office and I know I'm stressed out of my mind and everything is going crazy, but I'll think of a friend and I'll send them a message, be like, hey, I'm thinking of you today. Because the same way you're intentional about your relationship or your marriage, the same way you need to be intentional about your friendships, because those are people outside of your circle that'll help bring up.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So when you're around the right people, and also it's so important to invest in people and go, hey, Garabo, I see you and I want to spend time with you. And I want to have a conversation. Let's have a coffee. I want to see how you are. Invest in people because then people invest in you. So now my friends come to all of my shows. They listen to my music. If a music video comes on, everybody's insane and excited because I'm also invested in their lives. And I think because I love people so much, when I do love people, I ensure that, again, my cup is full when I arrive to my friends. Even if I'm going through something, I'll always be like, but friend, how are you? I'm fine. I'm okay. This is happening. Yes, great. But how are you?
Yeah.
How can I be there for you? How can I support you? And it's hard to juggle all of those things. But again, intention in time and even to send a voice note, yo, chomi, zia shalana. It's going down, I'm 17. But I just said, let me think. I'm thinking of you. I love you so much. I'll chat to you soon. That can change someone's day.
Absolutely.
Or change someone's thought about it. Oh, maybe I haven't seen Zena in a while. Like, is she okay? I was chatting to a friend of mine last week, and she's a single friend. And obviously, you know, now the dynamic has changed. And I said to her, I feel like you've been pulling back. And she goes, yes, because I'm trying to manage, you know, you as a married woman, and I want to be respectful. You know, and I said to her, my friend, treat me exactly how you treated me when I was single, but just know that this is just another part of my life that I'm in, but you are most welcome to share in that with me. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that our friendship needs to change. Obviously, there's certain things that I wouldn't be, you know, comfortable doing or whatever the case may be, but as long as it's respectful to my marriage, we can move forward. There's no issues at all. As long as it's respectful to me, you know, because in real life, I make those decisions of, okay, cool, you know, how am I then bridging that gap between my friends, but then also going, hey, I have a husband, and bridging that gap and going, I need to also respect him. And it also goes back to the music thing that I was speaking about. I've sat down with Ukobano to go, okay, are you comfortable with this picture? What do you think of this song? Let me explain to you what it's about. Would you be happy if I did a photo shoot where I look like this or like this? Do you mind if I wear that? Because you're bringing them on the journey with you. So it's not why are you now? You know, it's just saying, okay, what are you comfortable with? And then there comes a sacrifice, because if he's uncomfortable with something, I understand that, but thank you for hearing me, you know? And so talking and just going, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm doing. And with friendships, it's the best when you've got the best of both worlds, friends who are married and friends who are not married, because you can be an inspiration in either way and share in life's journeys in different ways. It doesn't mean now because a friend of mine is single that she must stay there. I can't be friends with single people. I believe that you have to ensure that they know your boundaries and they know what you're willing and not willing to do. And then everything after that is fine. It's respectful. It's thoughtful.
I love that. And also, listen, I'll say this, again, you know, from the lens of somebody who's older than Zena. My friends, and I don't have a lot of them, have seen me through the best and the worst parts of me. And they're the people that have stayed. You know, of all the people in my life, the friends stay, the good, the bad, the murky, so I love that for you. I love the recognition that it's also an important component in the tapestry of who you are.
Absolutely.
Now, moving on to other things and projects that you're working on. You spoke a little bit earlier about Born to Perform.
Yes.
And I think it's coming to the Teatro in Monte Cassino. Yes. Please, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about it, but also about what that does for up-and-coming artists. What is it that artists can look to extract from it? If there's parents raising aspiring artists, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think if you're a parent and you have a child who's a performer or an aspiring performer, Born to Perform is the perfect platform because it gave me a space to shine. And so the show is essentially showcasing young people's talent on a professional stage. And I think that's so incredible because when you give, and there's like 10-year-olds on stage, they're like 6-year-olds on stage who are singing and performing. You know, and that gives them an opportunity to go, okay, this is what it looks like in real life. This is what it's like to go through a rehearsal period, to go through technical rehearsal and then have a show. So then they're learning that, okay, cool, this is what the industry is actually like. So the platform was started by Gemma and Matthew Marinas. Gemma was actually my performing arts teacher growing up. And so it's just incredible to see how much my growth has now made them think of me in this certain way. Because when I came on board the first time, I had auditioned, and this time around, I was asked to come back.
Amazing.
And so because of, my career and things and what they've seen, I get asked to, and it still surprises me sometimes when I get asked to come on a podcast, for example. I'm always just like, am I really doing that great that I'm sitting here right now? You know what I mean? So sometimes it takes a while to take it all in, but the show is incredible because it also highlights different people's stories and where they've come from on different platforms, including the LGBTQIA plus community. And so we have also the St. Vincent School of the Deaf as well, who will be in the show, who will be signing and performing in the song. Amazing. So it's really going the creative space is for everybody. No one is excluded. And I love that to, give people opportunities to go, hey, this is what I can do, and I want to be a part of this. And so I get to MC the show with Graham Watkins. He's also a performer and a presenter. He actually taught me presenting when I was growing up and stuff. So it's crazy to be MCing with, an industry professional, and now you need to go, okay, cool. This is what I do anyways, but let me turn it up a little bit, And so I'm really excited for the show. And I have a music video coming out as well on the 10th of September, which I'm really looking forward to. So there's a lot of things that are brewing. I've been back in studio again writing, which is super exciting for me. I just love the process of writing music and looking back on the things that I've, achieved and gone through, and, being able to share that story with people and going, hey, here it is.
And touring, are you going to go on tour soon?
I would love to go on tour. I think that's something that's been on my heart for a very long time, and I'm very believing of the fact that God's time is perfect, and so when it's supposed to happen, it will. And so until then, I will just keep pushing
until then, we will keep cheering.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I mean, this has been amazing.
And what's next for Zena Rose? What do you want for yourself? What's your private prayer and indulgence that you're hoping God will grant?
Sure. I really want to tour the world.
Amazing.
I really want to tour the world and just share my music with the rest of the world. But not only that, but just perform. There's just this goodness that I really feel with performing. I feel like I'm the person that I want to be when I'm on stage. Like no care for what people think about me, no care for, if things are going bad or whatever the case may be, but just being present and enjoying the gift that I have and then enjoying it with people. Because I think words speak a lot. So it's definitely touring, and then hopefully, a couple of years down the line, maybe being a mom.
Hey, we're the babysitters.
Absolutely.
I would love that experience. I really would. Just so I can share more of my love, with people that are going to be my family, and I really look forward to that. But not only that, just having a really successful marriage. I think it's something that's taken for granted sometimes when people aren't with the right people that they're supposed to be. Marriage is a beautiful thing when it's done right and it's with the right person. And so I really pray that God continues, to bless and protect me and my husband. And so that we have a long life together. And so those are the things that are at the forefront of my mind, and finding ways to obviously bring God into what it is that I'm doing, because working at the church has really sparked something different in me as well. My faith has been, tested in ways that I'll never be able to explain, but I'm finding God is making me even more creative through the works that I'm doing for Him as well. So it's now trying to, mix all of this and bring glory to God in the best way that I possibly can. And at the end of the day, that's the plan, is God's plan. And so I just hope that people are inspired, people feel seen and heard. And again, being a Black woman is very, very difficult. And so if I can be just a beacon of hope to another Black woman to go, you are worthy and you deserve everything good that is coming in your life. And even with the difficulties that we face in the spaces that we're in, there's something beautiful about us as Black women. There is a power in us that people cannot explain, but they see it. And that's why sometimes they want to oppress it, because they don't understand how big it is. You know what I mean?
Think they do. They're scared of it.
Exactly. Absolutely. Because how much... When I look at the Black women in my life, how much space they hold, the things that they're able to do. I look at my mother, for example. How were you able to raise 2 kids, study a degree, and then still work after that and still be a good wife? We hold so much in our hands, and we need to trust ourselves and say, you know what? I can do this.
Oh, love.
So you can do this. You can absolutely do this. Just trust. I always say, trust your body, trust your heart, trust your soul. You can do it. You absolutely can do it.
Zena,
could not have framed it better.
So refreshing.
Yes.
So wise, so creative, so mature, so blessed. It was
beautiful.
So beautiful. Such an honor to have you here. I'm inspired, and I know our Klink Africa audience is inspired, and we wish you every success and everything you're going to do.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Klink.
So So where do we find your music?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. My music is on Apple Music, on Spotify. Anywhere you listen to music, that's where you can find me.
Oh, she is Zena Rose, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers.